Okay, we are ready to get started. It says it's 3:02 here Pacific time, and that means it's 6:02 Eastern time, where this class is actually being hosted. We are so grateful to have our host, Deena, my sister. And so we are going to do this class today from across the US. We are so grateful for our hosts. It makes it so much more fun and interesting. We get to meet new people and do things like this, be in Oregon and host a class in Virginia. It'd be fun to be there in person, and we'd love to have you taste this yummy food with us, but this is the best thing we can do for right now. So I think you should probably go put your kitten somewhere. I don't know if you can hear that, but we have a kitten playing with something on the hard floor making lots of noise. So we're gonna probably take away the toy, give her a soft toy, Elizabeth. But we are really excited today. What we're gonna do is I'm doing my first recipe from my new, let's see if I can find it. It's my Epic Life collection that I just recently got, Good Food, Real Results. And it comes with this great book, and I'm gonna talk about this probably for every class that I have through this year into January, February. Who says you have to wait till the New Year's to make a resolution or to start working on better habits? And I really like this. As most of you know, Denny and I have been doing health education for the last 25 plus years. And this is really, really a great idea and a great plan for health education. It's not vegan, even though we have a vegan program that we do, but this can be modified, which I'm going to show you today. I could have easily made the dish. We are making speedy chicken pot pie. It's on page 112 of this recipe book. And I could have easily made it for you just the way it is in the recipe, but then I couldn't taste it because it uses chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you how you would make it if you were using regular chicken, but I'm just going to show you how I'm making it for me and making it vegan. So basically, it's calling for 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts cut into 1/2-inch pieces. And what I'm using is soy curls. So they sort of imitate chicken. They don't have much of any flavor with them, which makes it easy to flavor them ourselves. So I have already made this up, and it says in the recipe that you can either use the fajita or souvlaki seasoning that comes with the Epic Life collection. And that's pretty easy. We do have both of those, but I had already made for a previous recipe soy curls with this packet of pulled chicken. And with this one, it was so tasty. It's kind of like a Southwest flavored chicken. And we had little slider sandwiches with this. And it made a lot, and I only used half of the package, but it made a whole pack of my soy curls. So I froze it, and so you could do that. Or in this, if you're using this, it has you use the chicken and put it in, what are those called? Slow cooker, sorry, in a slow cooker. And it makes like 16 servings, and then you could freeze it, or you could use it for a large crowd. So because mine was in the freezer, I went ahead and stuck it in the oven for right now. So what it tells you to do is thanks, Elizabeth. And I even have my glasses on. It says to preheat the oven to 425. I'm using my Epicure steamer pot right now in the oven, so I have it at 400. That's the max temperature for that. So it says in the steamer, put chicken and your seasoning, whether it's fajita, souvlaki, or I use the pulled chicken, and the broth, potatoes, and vegetables in the microwave on high for 5 to 6 minutes. So I'll show you real quick what I did, since my my pulled chicken soy curls was frozen. So I'll show you real quick here. And Elizabeth, you can tell them what you're gonna make.
So I'm gonna be making these chocolatey temptation cupcakes. And so we have made them a few days ago anyway. And so I have extra frosting, but this is actually really easy to make. And it comes with a recipe card. It has 2 different recipes on it that you can choose from. And so that's already made, so that's nice. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna put something down on the counter here. Okay, so this is hot. I just brought it out of my oven, and yes, this steamer can go in the oven, in the microwave. We even put it in our toaster oven, and it hasn't been in the oven very long, but I'll show you if you can see here, it is hot. I need a spoon from there. So it calls for 2 potatoes that are diced. So I've got my raw potatoes here, and then it calls for a cup of frozen peas and carrots. And so I've got that. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is my little shelf here inside my steamer basket. And it just lets the steam through. And underneath that is where I have my pulled chicken that is getting warm. My soy curls there. I'm just gonna stick this back in the oven. My frozen veggies are still frozen, and we can go ahead and move on as this is warming up. I'm modifying this recipe a little bit. So the time that it takes to cook it is longer because I don't use a microwave. So you can do these fast recipes without a microwave, they're just gonna be a little bit slower.
Our cats decided that they were going to wake up as soon as we started our cooking class. They're playing around over here.
They are full of energy. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for the rest of it. And I'm going to go ahead and get that started. I decided to put it in this little casserole dish. For actually making the recipe. And it calls for phyllo dough. I don't know if any of you have ever used this, but it's really nice. It makes a really nice flaky crust. And my recipe tells me to put the chicken and the vegetables and the mixture. It needs to be put in the microwave to cook the chicken and the vegetables, and then you add the cornstarch and seasoning, the broth mix, and then you cook it in the microwave again. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm just warming it up to get my chicken unfrozen in the oven in my steamer basket. And then basically we're going to mix up the broth and put some cornstarch in there, mix up my vegetables, and we're going to put this phyllo dough sheets on top, and we're gonna layer it and oil it in between. We'll brush it with some oil, and then we'll bake it. So that's kind of gonna be our main dish. I haven't tried it before, but this is the neat thing about Epicure. We can actually come on here live and show you things that we've never done before, and we can know they're gonna turn out because it gives us really good instructions and it's prepared. So Elizabeth, are you getting started on yours? Let me scoot over here.
So it's actually, this is really a simple recipe. It only calls for 3 ingredients. It calls for unsweetened soy milk or nut milk, and then it calls for oil and apple cider vinegar. That's it. So I just put in, since I'm only doing half the recipe, I'm halving the ingredients. So
they can't see on my screen.
I put half a cup of, I use soy milk, and then I did 1/6 a cup of oil, and then I'm doing half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the mix in here.
I just put some water on our hot pot to boil for my vegetable broth. This is calling for vegetable broth in my recipe, so I'm going to be using that. And also we are going to make a vegetable tray. So we've got some celery already made into sticks, and Elizabeth just picked or pulled a carrot from our garden. We made that into sticks. And then we have this dip that we're going to make. And this dip is really good. This is the herb and garlic dip. So we had this yesterday at our lunchtime. Actually, I blended this in with some mashed potatoes, the actual dip.
That's what was in about. It was really good.
That's what made it taste so good. So this basically has garlic, herbs and spices, sea salt, some cane sugar, and chives. And it was just so good. So basically I'm just going to show you what I did. I used some of this tofutti cream cheese and mixed it with some vegan veggies, basically. It says on the recipe you can use sour cream and some mayo or some Greek yogurt. So I just mixed it right in the container here with my little bit of veggies and a little bit of my dip mix here. And that was for my potatoes. For my vegetables, I'm just going to add a little bit more of the dip mix here because I want those flavors to really pop and stand out. So I'm just mixing it right here in the container with this tofutti cream cheese. You can use regular cream cheese or sour cream. And the texture of it, the consistency is really good. And I'm just going to put this in my little dip bowl here. We've also made the spinach dip recipe, and that is so good with vegetables or bread. We really like their dip recipes and their salad dressing recipes. They are so yummy. So that was a really quick way to get the fresh veggies in. It's much more fun and pleasant to eat fresh veggies when you've got some yummy dressing or dip to eat them with. So this is our vegetable tray that's going to be served with our dinner tonight, our speedy chicken pot pie. So I'm going to put that on the side. And Elizabeth, let's see what you did already. You just added.
I added the ingredients and then added the mix, mixed it up, and then now I'm putting it in the silicone cupcake
pan. So your ingredients were just olive oil and soy milk?
And then
a little bit of vinegar? Yeah. Okay, and so now she's just spooning it here into her pan.
And I'm gonna put less in the middle because last time, for some reason, I'm not sure if it was our oven or if it was for some reason the middle one did not want to cook all the way through. So I'm just gonna put a little less in that one this time.
And you need your oven to be at 350, is that correct?
Yes. So we're gonna use the toaster oven.
She's gonna use the toaster oven. How long does it cook for?
I'll just put it in for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Since it's the toaster oven.
Okay, and I hear my water finished, so I'm gonna go grab my hot water pot. And I need 2.5 cups of vegetable broth. I'm not sure where I put my recipe, but it's hanging around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. We were organized at one point.
2.5 cups.
So 2.5 cups of vegetable broth. I'm putting in some boiling water here. And my vegetable broth, thanks Elizabeth. My recipe here tells me I'm gonna use 1.5 teaspoons for 1 cup of boiling water. So I need 2 cups to start with, so that's going to be 1 tablespoon. And I love the way this has chunks of vegetables. It's not real big chunks, but it's not going to be just really blended either. It's going to be a little bit of texture. So that's enough for 2. And then I need 1.5 teaspoons. So I need about 3/4 of a teaspoon for my other 1/2 cup. So that looks about right. And I'm going to use my handy dandy prep bowl here, and it calls for some cornstarch. I'm just using the organic cornstarch here. We're pretty much non-GMO here. So this works well. You could also use, I think there was another substitute or something else you could use, cornstarch, or you could just use 2 tablespoons of flour, and then it wouldn't be gluten-free. We're using the phyllo dough that has wheat in it, so it's not going to be gluten-free anyway. So it says to use 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And I'm going to use these are the portion cups that came with my Epic Life collection, and they're really nice. The different colors tell you your fats, your carbohydrates, your fruits and vegetables. It tells you just how many of each one of these portions that you'll want. They don't have measurements on them, but I did measure them, and this is a tablespoon. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cornstarch in here.
So I'm about to put this in the toaster oven. But that's how it goes. I think there's a little more oil than last time. That's how it turned out. And it's really easy. It's really nice to just flatten it. I just put it down and then it was flat.
Okay, it says to mix your cornstarch with 2 tablespoons of warm water, but I like to mix mine with ice cold water to start with because it just dissolves really well. Oh, I did. You can get it back. I took Elizabeth's pan. Sorry, Elizabeth. Here you go. You can take my things out of the oven and put them right over here. So I have my cornstarch all melted here. I'm going to go ahead and mix it with my broth. So when you mix the broth with warm water, it just makes it just be an instant vegetable broth. So this is kind of going to be my gravy here for my dish. No, thank you.
There's a pan back here.
Oh, thanks. I don't need it actually. Okay, so I'm just going to read through the directions of the conventional way. Preheat the oven to 425. Could you put it up to 425 for me, please? You have to stop it first. Thank you. And then in a steamer, place the chicken, seasoning, broth, potatoes, and veggies. Microwave on high for 5 to 6 minutes. In a small mixing bowl, combine the cornstarch and water. Then you stir that into the chicken mixture. Then top with sheets of phyllo, using a basting brush to lightly brush with oil in between the layers. Bake it for 3 to 5 minutes until it's golden brown. So this whole thing is just done in 20 minutes total. Prep time 10 minutes, and then total time is 20 minutes. We're taking a little bit longer because we're not using the microwave. And so it tells us to use 4 sheets of phyllo dough. And we are going to bake it at 425. So I'm going to go ahead and take my things out here. My potatoes are not really done. They would normally be done, and that's why you would only have to bake it for an additional 5 to 6 minutes in order for it to be completely done, and the dough would be crispy. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my things from my steamer basket. I'm doing it in the glass basket, the glass pan, because I want you to be able to see through it. You could do this in the steamer. Well, I've got liquid underneath there. So I'm just going to take out this shelf, the vegetable shelf from the steamer with Elizabeth's help, and we're going to pour those in. Oops. The cleanup is always the fun part here. Okay, so I've got my potatoes and my carrots and peas in there. I've got a little bit of liquid here with my, I think I'm just gonna not use the liquid because I've got quite a bit there and I want it to be kind of a creamy, like a gravy for this. This looks yummy already. We actually have a spoon with holes in it. That would be the time to use it. So we can leave that juice in there. And the juice, I'm sure, tastes really yummy just because it's from that pulled chicken recipe. So
putting the juice in there anyway.
I'm putting the juice in anyway. It looks like it. So she's just gonna do it the fast way and dump it in for me. Okay, so this is gonna be full of flavors because we've got that flavored chicken and then we're using our vegetable broth. I'm gonna go ahead and this has already started to thicken because our water was boiling with our vegetable broth. And because we're just trying this recipe, it's quite possible that it won't be quite as thick as we're wanting it to be. That's kind of one of the things that I should like check ahead and make sure we're doing everything that we're supposed to. And I'm just gonna use, I'm not gonna use all of it.
Yeah, that would be.
Because I want it just to cover those vegetables. So I'm sure if you did it the way it says in the recipe, you would probably use all of this. I'm gonna dig to the bottom where some of my vegetable broth seasoning is still sitting. And then we're gonna go ahead and pop this back in the oven, I think. Or just, well, maybe we should just cover it here with our phyllo dough and see what happens and let it bake in there. I just don't want the dough to burn. Let's go ahead and put this in the oven first, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Okay, for those of you who have never heard about Epicure, I'm just going to say a little bit of something. Elizabeth and I first heard of Epicure in August. My sister Barbie, also Deena's sister, had a cooking class with one of her friends and invited me on Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so I just went online and saw what they had to offer, and I placed an order. And then she showed me how I could see the cooking class online, and I saw it and placed another order because, wow, I really wanted the things I saw in the class. So we started just ordering things, and pretty soon we're getting more and more things and we're using it more and more often. We are remodeling our house and we're doing a lot of the work ourselves. We also have an adult foster home, so we're busy. When it comes to dinner time, you can't just let it be 5:30 and dinner's at 6 and you haven't had a thought of what you're gonna make yet. But that's what we've been doing, and with Epicure, it makes it so much easier. Now this time, like I said, it's the first time I'm using my recipe book, my Epic Life recipe book. A lot of the things like these pulled chicken, a lot of the foods come in a packet where the whole entire meal is really done in 15 minutes, even stove top, without a microwave. And so that's one of the things that has been really, really nice for us. The other thing is we're very health conscious, so we don't do the preservatives, and we're non-GMO and those kind of things. And Epicure is right in line with that. So we can get the convenience of prepared food, and by prepared, it's usually freeze-dried herbs and vegetables and spices that are already packaged in a way that's in a flavor that you can just add something to make it a really tasty meal. So from what we understand, Epicure has been in Canada for over 20 years. And it was started just by a mother who wanted to provide really good, nutritious food for her own family. And just over a year ago, it moved to the US. And so it's really been taking off. And then COVID happened and it really took off. More people were pretty much being forced to prepare food at home when they weren't used to cooking at home. And so Epicure was a very easy way for them to prepare good, healthy meals for their families without having to figure it out. It's a pretty, everything comes with really good instructions. And I'm just gonna show you some of the highlights in this kit that they have. It has, along with this planner, it's a planner, it's not just a recipe book, but it just kind of gives you a basic plan of living healthfully. Tells you, encourages you to drink water and to stay off of your cellular devices or not in the TV when you're eating, because it's good to just let your body relax and digest your food. And it's great to have family meals that you're just focusing on the family that's in front of you, and talks about getting enough hours of sleep and then moving at least 30 minutes a day. It gives you an exercise program. This is just really a really neat thing. It has, here it shows you how to fill out your journal. So it also comes with a journal that helps you plan, and it has daily things here telling, asking what are your priorities for today. Just when you write it down and you think about your priorities and what your plans are for the day, you're more likely to actually do that. So it has a place where you mark off the glasses of water that you drank, and you mark off the exercise and what you ate, and you kind of keep track of it. They have a whole Facebook group that's just specifically for people who have purchased the Epic Life kit, and they're in the Epic Life program, and they get to help one another and support one another. I just think it's a great idea. Also, where Elizabeth's watching her watch for the time on her cupcakes, but while we are talking about Epicure, I just want to again thank you, Deena, for agreeing to host the class. We are just so appreciative of our hosts, and we are thankful that we get to offer free things for our hosts. So for every host, there's a $20 in free Epicure products, plus a certain % off of the orders that come in from your class, and a 50% off of any Epicure product or collection. So this Epic Life kit, I think, is $135. So if you host a party and you get a 50% off, well, that's a really big savings. I use one of my 50% offs to get that. It comes also with the Epicure products that you'll need. Instead of having a lot of the packs that are one use kind of things, it comes with the jars of seasonings that have like the 3-onion dip mix and the different things that that the recipes are gonna call for. That you can use it for many recipes. It gives you 7 days of meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus a dessert for 4 weeks. And then it tells you how to plan your own beyond that, or you can just repeat the ones that you liked, or your favorites, or repeat the whole thing. Also, Elizabeth and I are able, as consultants, if anybody's interested in having a home-based business where you can do this kind of thing, have fun, share good food real fast with your friends and their friends, and actually get paid to do it, then let Elizabeth know, because she's always looking for consultants to work with, and we've got a great leader that helps us out a lot. So I think, what else do we need to say about it? Let me ask if there are any questions. I don't know if on Facebook you can message questions. Mm-hmm. On Zoom we can answer questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we can answer the questions. And I'm hoping that we're covering all the things that we need to. It's usually crazy here, so to stop and actually have a quiet time in the house is, well, as you saw, the cats were the culprits this time of not making the house quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and get my food out of the oven. How long does yours have to be? You have 3 minutes left. I'm gonna get mine out, and we're gonna go ahead and put the phyllo dough on top, and we will baste it with some olive oil. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil here in my prep bowl, my little prep cup here, my 1 cup prep bowl. There are so many different things that I've really enjoyed that are even kitchen gadgets through Epicure. I mean, having a kitchen and doing classes, as you can imagine, we have almost every kind of gadget you can think of, but we have found quite a few that Epicure offers that we can't get anywhere else. So we are gonna go ahead and get our sheets of phyllo dough. They should be thawed by now. You keep this in the freezer. And I happen to get the really large sheets. These are 14 by 18. That's the first time I've actually seen them that large, or the first time I've used them that large. And if they're not fully thawed when you start working with them, they will break off, which is folded still. That's still folded. Mm-hmm. So we unfolded the plastic, but not the dough here. Oops. I think that's it. That's it. Okay. It goes, there we go. See underneath. Yes. There we go. It's kind of crumbly. It is very crumbly. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to take the first sheet of dough here, and I'm just going to fold it over because it's twice the size of my pan. I'm just going to lay it onto my pan, and then I'm just going to baste it. Where's the basting brush? When you baste it with the olive oil in between the layers, it makes them just extra flaky and crunchy. So we're just gonna do it sloppily, Elizabeth, because we just want that oil to get in there and make it crispy. I've made chicken pot pie before where you have to like make the pastry dough and roll it out, and this is just so much easier and faster. So we're gonna put the next sheet on. It calls for 4 of them. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the second one. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it over in half. This one isn't quite as crumbly. We're gonna lift it out here. There we go. Okay, perfect. We'll put it on, and I'm just folding the edges under a little. And whoever gets the edges is probably gonna just have a little thicker crust there. While you're doing this, Elizabeth, I'm gonna get the next one folded over.
I already folded it over.
Oh, thank you. Let's get some under there so it doesn't stick to the pan. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Almost.
And I'm thinking we should probably stop at 3 because it's really 6 when you think about it.
Yeah, that's probably a lot more.
I'm gonna actually fold these under so it looks nicer at the final presentation. We don't have those lines on the top. And we're gonna go ahead and we'll just finish it up with this, Elizabeth, it's okay. And my pan is hot. My pot holders are over here. So I have my oven at 425. I'm hoping that liquid will cook down a little bit and that my gravy will thicken up. And if it doesn't, you'll understand why, because I've modified the recipe, but doesn't that look yummy already? And are your cupcakes ready to come out, Elizabeth?
I just put them in there for another 3 minutes.
Another 3 minutes? Okay. So it depends where, here, it goes in this first. We just want to make it airtight so it'll stay in the freezer. I'll take care of this. Yes, we have toothpicks right in there. So she's going to stick a toothpick in the middle and check it out. It's probably going to take a little bit longer because it's a toaster oven and not a big oven. It's a little different doing these cooking classes on Facebook than it is on Zoom because we can talk to people and they can talk to us. So right now, we don't know if you're laughing at us or with us. Okay, that's not for that. That's for the. I'm just going to put my dough back in the freezer here so we can have it for the next time. Let me get something really quick. My gift bag, which is somewhere here. So while we're waiting, I want to bring up the Weeks of Wonder that Epicure is doing right now. That is our gifting Tinsel Tuesday. So every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Well, it's 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I'm assuming it's maybe noon Eastern time. I don't know that it could be the same time everywhere. They introduce new products every Tuesday morning or maybe noon your time. And they're just different collections that are while supplies last and they don't bring them back on. And they're not things that come from the catalog or that you can get on the Epicure site other than for this gifting program. And the items come in a gift bag like this. The first week, they had the best turkey dinner ever, and that was so good. We actually made that best turkey dinner ever on Friday. We had Elizabeth's in-laws over for an early Thanksgiving dinner, and everybody really enjoyed the food. And the second week, which was last week, was it last week? Maybe not. No, the first week also, they had this cute little kit that was the gingerbread cookie cutters they have 3 different sizes. Had the pastry bag with the tips, and also, what's that? Was the first week. This was the first week? I can't remember. The Tutti Frutti topping, and also the gingerbread flavored seasoning. I got 2 of these, so we can use one and give one. And here's the gingerbread spice mix. So Elizabeth is using hers with her pastry bag and yes, and the tip. So she's using that today for the icing. And she's going to tell you in just a minute how she made the icing. She also, and it all comes in this little gift bag. I believe this one is still available. And also, she got the Little Chef Pro collection that came with the recipe card. It came with the 2 cupcake pans and 2 cupcake mix and the spatula. And so she's using both of those gift sets for her presentation today. 2 packages of the cupcake mix. So along with the recipe. So you want to tell them the recipe for the icing that you're using?
So for the icing, I put cream cheese, and then butter, and then the summer berry mix, which was thought you just had it. Anyway, and then I put powdered sugar because it calls for icing sugar. So I'm pretty sure those are the same thing. If not, I didn't find it at our store. So I used that and I put it in our KitchenAid and mixed it up. And then this was left over from last time, so it's thawed out now. But I just kept it in this bag. It was really nice. This bag's really nice to use. So yeah, it was really easy.
You want to check your?
She's talking my legs.
Check your.
I did.
Sure. Okay, I just checked my chicken pot pie and it's not quite ready yet. So we try to have this done and everything fixed within a short time. Here, you can put it on this. 45 minutes to an hour, and sometimes it takes us longer. So look at those cupcakes. They look yummy.
They're a lot flatter than last time as far as. They had smooth last time. I remember that smooth.
Last time they were bumpy. You didn't smooth them out so well. So it says to let them cool for 10 minutes before you frost them. And you want to get out the cooling rack, Elizabeth, right down here. Epicure has a really great cooling rack, which is not the one we're using today. Because we don't have it yet. There are a lot of things that we want, but we don't have. So the very best way for us to get those things is to be consultants and keep having classes and keep getting 50% offs, and we can keep getting more and more things. So let me, where's your spatula? We can kind of go around the edges and make sure that they're not sticking in here. Oh, they're not sticking, Elizabeth. They're not sticking at all, so we don't need to spatula around the edges. And we're just gonna turn these out onto the cooling rack.
Well, if you do that, it might mess up the
top.
Yeah, that's what happened last time.
Okay, so we won't do that. And also, I don't know if we mentioned, but all of Epicure's products are gluten-free. 90% of them are plant-based, and there are a whole list of things that they don't ever put, and they're all the processed things that aren't good for you. So you can know that they have your health and mind in mind when they put together their products. Okay, we're just going to flip it onto the cooling rack here, so they're going to be upside down, but they'll cool much faster that way. Sorry, did I?
No, I just didn't get one.
Oh, this is cute. There are little pictures on the bottom of the pan that tell you what you can put it in. There's an oven, there's a microwave,
Toaster.
There's a dishwasher, there's a toaster oven. I'm going to flip these over.
I'm guessing it's a snowflake, so I'm guessing it's like refrigerator or freezer. And I did need to oil the pan, but look, it's like clean. So that's really nice. Let's see on that one. We'll put it in the freezer for a while. Go back.
Sticking them in the freezer will cool them off really quick. And then Elizabeth will ice them with her, she had this icing that she made. You talked about what you put in the icing, and it was so tasty.
And then there's also another one, the summer berry one, the one that was inside. You can use these as toppings. This one's the Tutti Frutti, so I think it's pretty much just dried fruits. This one is the Cocoa Crunch. It has chia seeds, cocoa nubs, and coconut, and cinnamon. So it's pretty.
And this is the summer berry mix. This is the one that makes it a little sweet. We add this to yogurts. We put it on top of puddings, all kinds of things. This has organic cane sugar, raspberries, hibiscus, strawberries, organic. I don't even know what this is.
I don't know either.
Rooibos, Rooibos, and that's the English of it. I'm probably the only one. We're the only ones that don't know what that is. Whatever it is, it sure tastes good. Nothing like embarrassing yourself in front of a whole bunch of people you don't know. Sorry, Deena, if we embarrass you too. Let's go ahead and check the oven for our chicken pot pie and see how that is looking. How does it look? Okay, let's take that out. Oh, this looks really, really yummy. Look at this. You can see it sizzling there. You can see the crusty top. Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, it smells delicious.
And some of the liquid did disappear.
Yes, so it is thick. This is so yummy. I can hardly wait to eat this. So this is definitely something you can serve for your family or for guests. It smells really good too, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yum, yum. This is so yummy. And our crust is nice and crunchy and crispy. We're gonna put this on a plate here so you can see what it looks like. Mmm. It looks and smells so yummy. And then we're gonna add our vegetables with this and a cupcake. We'll add our dip. Where's our spatula? Here's our spatula.
It should be cool by now.
This smells so good.
Just drop them all.
I'm gonna move our plate out of the way. Elizabeth's cupcakes are done.
So this one is a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be, but this one's the middle and it is cooked this time, so. Maybe last time I put too much in the middle, I don't know, but this time I just made sure it got cooked. So I'm going to move this over here. And now whoa. Well, that one didn't turn out that great. Let's see. Maybe it won't get stuck this time. There we go.
Such a little artist. These kits were made with little chefs in mind. It says Little Chef Pro Collection, but I think it would work for anybody. Our resident and I are going to make gingerbread cookies. So she's looking forward to decorating them with our kit also. Okay, let's take one of these and put it on the plate. And this is our speedy chicken pot pie with our vegetable sticks and onion and herb dressing and the Chocolate Temptations cupcake. So there you go. It was pretty quick and easy and lots of fun. So you'll be able to see this on Facebook, also on my YouTube channel, Brenda's Good Food Real Fast. I'll put it up there. It'll have an order link, and Elizabeth will put Deena's order link up. And the cooking class will be closing in just a few days, but we are going to make sure it stays open so you can see what the Tinsel Tuesday brings this coming Tuesday. So if you're placing an order and you want to see what's going to come up on the Tinsel Tuesdays, you can wait until Tuesday to place your order, but we do encourage you to get the orders in quickly because things have been running out very fast. So again, we want to thank you, Deena, for hosting the party, this cooking class. We call it a party because it's so much fun, but it's really just a cooking class. And all of our hosts, I see some of our past hosts, Barbie, I see you're on here. Good to see you. And you can always, our hosts can host multiple parties. That's the neat thing. We have one that hosts a party every month, and that way she can keep her Epicure supplies in stock and get them at a lot of them free or 50% off. So let us know, let Elizabeth know or Deena know if you're interested in hosting a class your own self. We can do it like this, from our kitchen to your friends, or if you're in this area, we can do it here or at your home. I'd love to go to Virginia and host it for you in your kitchen, but it just is kind of far. So, and also if you want to host a class of your own, let us know before we close Deena's class, and Deena will get an extra 50% off of any product. So that will be a nice blessing for her. And again, we just want to thank all of you, and thank you, Deena, for hosting our class for us and bringing your friends. And we hope all of you have a wonderful and great day. Be blessed and be healthy.